Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to the true and living power, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakah Kadash. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the true name of his only begotten Son, and there is no God beside him. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who definitely rule well, and honors and citations to the elect. Alright, so I just want to get into a quick lesson, man, on walking more in the spirit than in the flesh. Cause when you got too much, um, things going on in the flesh, that could be choking the spirit. That could be weighing the spirit down. All right, that's what this, the spiritual fight is all about: the flesh versus the spirit. When you feed the spirit more, that'll weigh the flesh down. But if you feed the flesh more, that'll weigh the spirit down. So we could just have too much things going on, man, in the flesh, to where it's actually choking out. It's like choking the spirit. Which, and honestly, that's in the parable of the sower and the seed. One of the seeds, it fell on a nice patch of ground, but guess what? Eventually, it was choked out by thorns, and the thorns was what? The cares of this world. All the fleshly shit that you could have going on. In the world, man. All right, so before I get that real quick, let me get I think that's Ecclesiasticus. Yeah, man. Sometimes we gotta just let some of these things go that we partake in. That's in the world. You, for example, you may have too much friends in the world. All right, to where they all want to chill. You may got like 10 close ass friends in the world, and now they choking out your spirit because you chilling with them too much. So what you gotta do? You gotta let some of them niggas go, man. And then watch how much more time you have. Watch how much more the spirit opens up. That's just an example. It could be many other things, man. Hell, I had brought my Facebook back because ultimately I wanted to see the local news of what be going on around town and stuff like that. But even that, I felt like that was too much of feeding my flesh, man, which is going contrary to the spirit. So I said, man, let me just delete this shit, man. And now look, boom, more time for the spirit to deal. This is Ecclesiasticus 27:12. If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time, but be continually among men of understanding. See? So we among pretty much 2/3, or really for that matter, anything that's time consuming that also feeds the flesh, observe the time. Don't be don't be in it for too long, man. Observe the time, and if you notice that a lot of things is taking up too much time, it gotta get cut off. It's not nothing wrong, of course, with having things that you do in the world, like watching basketball or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But then when you watching basketball and you chilling with all your 10 friends and you on social media, all day. You know what I'm saying? And you traveling with wifey here, traveling with wifey there. It's like, yo, some of that shit got to get cut. Cause why? You're not observing the time. You're not observing how much time is going by of you bullshitting, and you ain't getting in the spirit. So that's why it says, if thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time. And then when you observe the time, right, and you saying, damn, well, this is too much, taking up too much of my time. Well, that's going to how you got to examine yourself, whether you be in the faith. Then when you observing the time and you examining yourself, and then you realize, look, I can't do that no more, man. It's too much. Or I got to do that a lot less, or whatever the case may be, man. It says, but be continually among men of understanding. So this is Romans 8:1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahushai, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. See? That's why we can't walk after the flesh, man. We can't have too much things going on in the flesh. It says, for the law of the Spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahushai hath made me free from the law of sin and death. Damn. Whew. So, it says, for the law of the Spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahushai hath made me free from the law of sin and death. And remember, Yahushai said, the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. And then Yahushai also said, if you love me, feed my sheep. Feed them what? Feed them the truth. Feed them the words of the good gospel that he was teaching. So when you put your hand to the plow, all right, in sincerity and in truth and to the best of your ability, while following the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, you are now under the law of the Spirit of life, which makes you free from the law of sin and death. But if you don't come under the law of spirit and of life by doing these works, then you still remain under the law of sin and death. See, so that's why the forefront, our whole life has to be about being under the law of the Spirit of life. Verse 3, for what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, the Most High sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh. And that's I'm sounding like Elder Manatazakba down in South Carolina, the too deep demon. These so-called Christians got a too deep demon on them. I mean, take it for what it is, dude. Chill. The Most High said he sent his own Son. So how do you get... No, the Most High and his Son is one. You trying to be too deep. Chill. So it says the Most High sending his own Son, that's plain, in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. See? So cut off some of those things of the flesh that you got going on if you feel like it's choking out the Spirit, man. Shit gotta go. We gotta walk after the Spirit. So what's walking after the Spirit? Constantly praying, constantly watching other brothers' lessons, constantly fasting if we have to, which we do have to. Sometimes you gotta fast, man. All right? Constantly studying, brushing over topics, reading the history of our forefathers in the scriptures, watching edifying movies, hanging out with the Akim and the brethren, going out there in highways and byways, man, paying your tithes to your camp and the apostles of Great Millstone. See, these are all the things that consist of walking after the Spirit. Praying without ceasing. And then what's walking after the flesh? Just being a nigga. Doing the things niggas do. Paper chasing. Women chasing. All right? Doing all these different drugs. These is walking after the flesh. Any carnal, stupid bullshit, man. Verse 5, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, see? Having too much carnal stuff going on, that's death. That is death, man. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High. Ooh, see? Just think about a nigga's day. He wakes up, laying next to a bag of freaking hot Cheetos. You know? Probably don't even watch his face, just go straight on Facebook. Back and forth between Facebook, Instagram, Twitter for probably like a whole hour. Then he just plays the video games for like another 3 hours. Then probably just go out, go freaking passing a blunt around between his friends for like 2 hours, and they not talking about nothing of what's going on. Just talking about nigga shit. Alright. Probably come back home, argue with his moms that he smells like shit and not taking a shower, and say he just jumps back on a video game. You know, just doing nothing conducive, man, to the Spirit. That's a carnal mind. And when you in that mindset, you're against the Most High. Now you take some of the things he was doing that I mentioned. Of course, not the wicked things, arguing with your mother. You gotta honor your mother and father. Of course, start smoking weed. Smoking is wicked. But say we might jump on social media. You know, if you don't got a lot of other things in the flesh going on, we might do that. But then afterwards, we won't go out and have a fucking blunt cipher. We'll watch the elders or something, man. You know, that's the difference. They don't get in the Spirit at all. It's just totally carnal. It says, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. Okay? But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. If so be that the Spirit of the Most High dwell in you. Now if any man have not the Spirit of the Messiah, he is none of his. Okay? So we can't be in that carnal mindset, in that fleshly mindset. Shit got to get cut to make more room for the Spirit. Because when we walk in the Spirit, there's no condemnation towards us, man. You know, we justified by faith and by works. So, Lord, this was edifying, and I'm going to say shalom.